Well, there's no good news. I mean, the only thing the government did is to try to get the developers to finish projects and order the banks to roll over debt, which is something that China's been doing for a number of decades. As far as I understand it, there's not much transparency with, I think it was Country Garden, or it was Evergrande. They were going to have a court, a ruling that would help to restructure the company, but the Chinese government wouldn't let the developer issue bonds because I guess they felt that it wasn't in very good shape. So therefore, the developer couldn't go forward with the plan for restructuring. So I don't think there's any interest in the leadership in saving developers. What they want to do is try to save whatever housing is left that can be saved and keep people from getting too angry and roaming the streets yelling and screaming.
Andrew, everyone's looking at the property sector, and rightly so, because of its ramifications and its importance during the growth story of the last 2 decades. But Xi Jinping, it appears, doesn't want to spend all the capital he's got bailing out a sector, as you say. But he wants to actually grow the economy elsewhere. Are the other areas where he wants to spend the money, where he wants to grow the economy, are they faltering? While we're all looking at the property sector, I'm concerned that some of the other growth initiatives just don't appear to be bearing fruit yet.
Well, the main area that they've had some success is in the autos market, and the EVs are very strong within China, and the exports are starting to grow. The problem with that is twofold. First of all, there's way too much competition between provinces for the EV market, which means there's a lot of capital being wasted, and a lot of companies are going to go out of business. And the second thing is that there's going to be pushback for exports to Europe in particular. And also, a lot of the EV sector isn't large enough to get anywhere near enough GDP growth to replace the property market. The only other area of hope is the semiconductor industry, where it's a huge amount of money, $700 billion to $1 trillion US is being spent. But that's going to take quite some time to bear fruit, probably 5 or 10 years. So I think Xi Jinping is very willing, it seems quite surprisingly willing, to take very severe pain on the economy to try to steer the ship away from property into areas. Unfortunately, he's letting the state dictate what the areas are going to be instead of the market.
Andrew, a lot of the rhetoric I've been reading, again, from some of those analysts you mentioned, of those Hong Kong-based banks, and indeed other people and other commentators, is that actually the worst of this is behind us. We've had the property market slump, and now we can build a foundation and grow from here. Is that your analysis, sir?
Look, prices have to come down anywhere between 30 and 50%. If you talk to the academic economists who aren't being paid for our deals, that's the general consensus. I don't think we're quite there yet in terms of pricing. The second issue is you've got a huge legacy of debt. I mean, not only do the developers have hundreds of billions of dollars of debt, but you've got these other companies, the off-balance sheet government companies called local government financing vehicles, with 60 trillion yuan in debt. And that legacy is going to leave a gaping hole in China's balance sheet. How they resolve that is going to cause a lot of pain for local people, local governments trying to provide social welfare and housing and stuff going forward. So turning this ship around when they've been overblown on property for 15 years is going to be a tough nut for this leadership.